Divorced dad, you know that feeling when you finally start to feel stable again, like something actually shifted internally, right? And then life happens. A text comes in that lands wrong. The kids come back fussy and chaotic. Work piles up, sleep drops. You drank a bit too much the night before, maybe. And suddenly, you're right back in that old place, irritated, tight chest, racing mind, anxious, worried, replaying the conversation with your ex nonstop in your head, fighting the urge to react. And then you lose it with and on your kids because you can't help it. And inevitably, you feel guilty about it. Well, let me ask you a hard question here. What if the real crash isn't the moment you lose it with your kids? What if the real crash happens earlier, at the moment it becomes mathematically inevitable not to lose it? Simply because you don't have a stabilization system, what I call the daily floor. In the next few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to one idea that changes everything for divorced dads in high conflict co-parenting. And once you'll adopt it, your life will shift dramatically. The idea is simple, and it's this. You don't need more insight. You need a daily floor. It's a minimum set of non-negotiables that makes your progress hold, especially when the weeks gets loud. So you stop starting over and start outgrowing your challenges. Here's what Jake had to say about the daily floor 5 days after he installed it in his life. Day 5 in a row of daily floor completed. It's been game-changing. Not because life gets easier, because his baseline got steadier. And this is just one of them. Everyone scores small and big wins consistently when they implement the daily floor in their lives. Now, if you're getting value from this and you want more videos that help you go from triggered to trusted as a dad and co-parent, take 2 seconds and hit subscribe. Because I drop practical, real-world tools for staying calm under pressure, communicating with discipline, and building a life where your kids can actually feel safe inside. And if you subscribe, you'll have this in your pocket before the next hard week hits. All right, let's get into it. I want to name something that's happening to every dad I've interviewed. Most divorced dads are living in a yo-yo pattern. And it's not because they're weak. It's because you're trying to build a stable life on a structure that doesn't exist. They get a little better after therapy. They feel a shift after a great conversation. They watch a YouTube video and get a breakthrough like you do right now, maybe. They read a book, they hit the gym, they have a clean week, and then pressure hits. A trigger text, a little worry, a kid exchange gone wrong, a tone that takes you right back to the marriage crap. You don't just dip, you snap back. Then you feel guilty, and you conclude that you're a failure of a broken man. And then you do the most exhausting thing in the world. You start over. A new YouTube video, a new therapy session, a new book, a new conversation. Sounds familiar? And here's the deeper problem for you. Starting over is not just discouraging, it's identity eroding. Because every time you start over, a part of your identity quietly learns, I can't hold it. And that's why men keep chasing insight. Because insight feels like relief. How many videos you watched? How many great insights you got? Yet under pressure, nothing shifted, did it? Like even now, watching this video, you're gaining an insight. But relief is not stability. Relief is what happens when the pressure drops. Stability is what happens when the pressure rises and you rise with it. That requires structure. Not motivation and not information. Structure, my friend. Let me tell you a story from my own life. I was coming back from a Tony Robbins event. If you don't know who Tony Robbins is, maybe now is a good time to learn about him. Great man. And in that event, we did a lot of jumping and high-fiving and plenty of insights and plenty of releasing and plenty of feeling. I finally understood that I'm not my feelings. I understood that I'm not my emotions. I kind of thought I got rid of the cells of worthlessness. So I thought. And then I come home. And for about exactly 1 week, I felt on top of the world. I'd wake up energized and motivated. I'd be super productive during the day. And eventually my kids came home from their time with their moms. Their homework for the week not done. Their lunch boxes forgotten at school. And they did what kids do. They created chaos all around. And at the same time, I received a ding message from one of the moms to my kids who wrote some nasty stuff that sometimes they write in conflict co-parenting, right? You know what I'm talking about? And how shitty of a father I am, and that's all of our son's poor results are because of me. And she'll tell everything to him once he grows up. Heard that? The joys of being a divorced dad, right? So I was sharp with my boys. I scolded them, raised my voice. I was reactive with my co-parent. And of course, that escalated. And I felt guilty and stupid and regretful. But the damage was done. And here I was feeling worthless and broken again. And I didn't fall back into old patterns because I'm a broken man or a worthless piece of crap, but because I had no daily floor to support me when the pressure hits. And look, if you're hearing this and thinking, well, this is me, I do fine until the week turns, reach out to me. There's a link in the description to contact me and start a conversation. We'll look at your situation and see whether building your daily floor with support is the right next step for you. And what I want you to understand is this. When do you think Titanic hit the iceberg? Well, you may say, what a stupid question. What does it have to do with divorce in my life? Hear me out. Most of the guys are going to say, well, I don't know exactly the moment, but it's the moment the impact was created, right? Wrong. The Titanic hit the iceberg when it became mathematically impossible for the Titanic not to hit it based on the trajectory. When regardless what the captain was going to do, they were going to hit the iceberg. It was just a question of time. And if you can understand that, you can understand your divorce differently as well. When did your divorce happen? It's not when you signed the papers. It's not when the lawyers got involved. It's not when she moved out. The divorce happened the moment she internally realized there is no return. And chances are it wasn't even a conscious realization. And probably it didn't happen a few weeks or months before. The chances between 6 to 24 months before she even told you anything about it. After that, it was just a matter of time because she was on a trajectory, see? Now here is where it gets real. Your life right now is on a certain trajectory, like the Titanic was. And if you don't change the trajectory, there are future icebergs that are mathematically inevitable for you, that are cooked in your life. And it's just a matter of time. And it's not because you're doomed. It's because you are not building anything that makes a different outcome likely. You're hoping. You're surviving. You're reacting. And the scary part is, reacting feels normal to you right now. It feels like, well, this is my situation. What do I have to do? But it's not your situation. It's your system. Or more accurately, it's the absence of one. And this, right now, is the moment where you can reclaim agency as a man. Because you can't control what texts come in. You can't control how kids behave. You can't even control the thoughts you think most of the time. But you can control what trajectory you're building day after day. You can build a path where over time, your nervous system becomes steadier. Your communication becomes cleaner. Your home becomes calmer. Your mind stabilizes. Your health improves. Your relationships get better. And the icebergs that used to be inevitable, they stop being inevitable. And they are replaced by sunny shores. Not because life became perfect all of a sudden or easier. That ain't going to happen. But because you're no longer the same man running the same stress with the same lack of structure. So let's talk about the daily floor. And I'm not here to teach you the exact routines today, okay? I'm here to sell you on the principle. Because if you don't buy the principle, you'll keep doing what you've been doing so far. Collecting insights and cracking under pressure. How did that work out for you? So the daily floor is the minimum viable structure of the man you're becoming. It's 3 to 5 non-negotiable action items done daily that build your skills regardless of what happens out there. And my daily floor and the one I'm teaching inside of my program has 5 components. Let me say them clearly and then I'll tell you why they work. First, a morning routine. Second, nervous system regulation practices. Third, 3 forward steps in the important domains: money, career, health, relationships, inner well-being. Fourth, full presence with your kids. And fifth, connection and sharing with a brotherhood or tribe. Now I want you to notice something. None of those rely on your ex cooperating. None of those rely on life being easy. None of those rely on you feeling motivated. They're not tactics. They're a structure that trains the men. And when those fives are baked into your lifestyle, growth is not hope, my friend. It's a mathematical certainty. Growth becomes the iceberg you're absolutely going to be hitting every single time. Because you're doing the reps every day that build emotional stability, sharp mind, healthier body, financial independence, relationship success, fulfillment as a father, and becoming an attractive man on the dating scene. That's why it compounds. That's why it's inevitable. And that's why the dad in my program said after installing it, day 5 in a row of daily floor completed, and it's been a game-changing. And it can be game-changing for you as well. Because for the first time, he wasn't depending on a good day to be regulated. He had a floor. And when the floor is there, you stop falling under. You can't fall under. There is the floor. You stop starting over. Because there is a floor, you bounce from that floor and you start building a life worth living deliberately. So if your life right now feels like a yo-yo, if you're tired of feeling better for a moment and then snapping back, if you're tired of living like you're one message away from losing it, this is your sign that it's not more insight that you need. It's a floor. Because the question isn't, how do I get triggered less? The question is, what am I building daily that makes my future inevitably better than my today? And if you want help building your daily floor, so it actually fits your custody schedule, your stress levels, your work demands, and your real life, reach out. The link is in the description. Because you don't have to keep heading towards the next iceberg. You can change the trajectory. And you can become the man your kids feel safe with and the man you're proud to be. Just remember one thing. When dads rise, kids thrive. Take care.